Guys, welcome back to the tutorial. For this part of the video, I'm going to be focusing on setting up the products and also setting up the card. So we have been able to set up an admin profile and also a normal user profile where the admin is able to do some admin features, while for normal users they're only able to see their details. And probably as we progress, I'll be setting up the order history to be available in the dashboard. Now, with that being understood, for this section of this video, I'm going to focus on making it possible for admin profile to be able to add products, delete products, edit product, whereas also making it possible for a normal user to be able to add product to cart, remove product from cart. And the next section will then deal with checkout process, payment gateway, and others. Let's progress. Let me close down this. Also close the auth form. We don't need this for now. We might come back to the app.jss, but our focus right now will be at the inside our models.py. I'm going to set up two models. I'm going to set up the cart model and the product model. The purpose of me setting up the cart model is making it possible for a user to be able to add products to their cart, and even when they log out, normally the way the carting works in some application is when your section expires or you log out, you tend to lose your cart. But with the process of what I'm doing here, when you even log out and you have already added some products to your cart, you will still be able to see them in your cart because it is being stored in the database. That is the reason why I'm setting up the cart models, to be able to make that possible. In our models.py, I'm going to set up the products and also set up the cart. But before we proceed, I'm going to import from django.contrib.auth models, then we'll import user. Let's set up the product model, models. First item in the product will be name. I think here, can leave it this way. Then we'll also have description, models.text field, fine. Also have price, we'll use decimal field, then mass digit to be 10. Then we'll also have quantity, we can use positive integer field, and we'll have, I think, created, that is also very important. Then we can have image. So for the image field, I'm going to use models.image field. Then I'm going to set upload to side here. I'm going to set it to be product images. Let's use underscore product images. Okay, then we will set our blank to be true, also set null to be true. Thereafter, I will set my string representation for our model. We'll use self.name so that we can use it to return that in our models admin page. Now, let me set meta. I'm going to set the ordering to be, can use ID instead of name. We can decide to use a better ordering, but I feel ID is fine for me. Now, the next model I'm going to set up is the one for the cart. And for this cart, I'm just going to capture the user that is handling the cart, whereas also capturing the item that is added to the cart. So for this, we'll use the foreign key, or let's even use one-to-one instead of using foreign key. We can use the one-to-one field, then user on delete cascade. Then we can do items equals to, let's use models.json field. The purpose of storing this item as a JSON field is for it to help us to store the items as a list dit or in a JSON structure. Now, the items is going to have information like price, right? It's also going to have information like quantity. So setting the items in a JSON field makes it possible for all these items or different fields of the items to be listed in a list but in a dit. So with that being understood, let's set the default to be list, not none, right? So that it will appear as a list, because that's what it should be. Okay, then I'll go ahead and also do the string representation, but this one time I'm going to return formatted string. I'm going to set it to be self.name. No, let's use self.user.username, since we don't have all those long details. Can do it as self.username cat. Our model is set up. We can decide to run migration, but we are seeing some error. So we need to do something. We have not installed pillow, and to do that, I will do pip install. I think it should be pillow. Okay, so our pillow has been installed in our virtual environment. So if I go ahead and Python manager.py, let's make migrations. But before we do that, I need to cross check and make sure our model is properly set up, so that we will not be going back and forth with the migration and migrating thing. So make sure you cross check your models to avoid unnecessary oversight that you could have avoided by just reviewing your code and cross check it. So everything looks good, even the ordering. What about cat? Good. One-to-one field user on delete models.cascade and items. Okay, so let's go ahead and make migration, then go ahead and migrate. Okay, I can go ahead and clear this out and also run our server. Okay, close. Let me close this models.py. I don't think there's anything we need to do there. Can come back to our views, or even before we start working on the views, let's open up our admin and import these two models. Import no from .models, we import all, which is fine. So we can do admin.site.register product. We can also do another one for cat, just like this. Save, close up this one. Now in our views, we can close this so we can see better. The first thing I'm going to do is to set up the product page that will allow our admin to be able to access the products. Even before we start working on the views, let's set up the serializers for these two models. Come back here and import from .models. We import product and also import cat. Okay, so that below we can go ahead and set up our product serializer and cat serializer. To set up the product serializer is simple. We use the serializers, the model serializer, and inside here we'll set up meta. We'll set the model equals to product, then we'll use fields all so that we'll be able to serialize all fields in our product. The product serializer is done. Now let's also set up the one for cat, and the one for cat will do class, then cat serializer, then serializers model serializer, and inside here I will do model, we'll do class meta, then model, I'll set it to be cat, and for the fields this time around we just need to get items. Our two serializers are ready. Now we can start setting up our API views to handle these two models. Now in our views, some things needs to be properly set up to be able to allow the admin have access to product from their dashboard. So what I'm going to do is to create like maybe 2 or 3 different views that's going to handle different things. One of the views I'm going to create is my admin product view, the one that's going to list the product that is available to an admin user, while I will also create the admin edit product view. This one will be able to retrieve, update, destroy products in our dashboard. So the purpose of creating these two separate API views is to make it possible for an admin to see list of products in their dashboard and also be able to retrieve, update, and do whatever they want to do in that product. So sometimes you might want to make changes to product. You might even want to delete a product that is no longer available in your system. So as an admin, you should have access to all these things. So let's set up the one for our list create that will be able to create product for us and also list. So I'm going to call it admin product view. So normally we have been using generics, so we'll still maintain the generics. Generics.list create API view. Inside this function or inside this class, I'm going to set the permission classes to be isAdmin user. Yeah, so let's import isAdmin user. You cannot access it if you're not an admin. That's what it means. Okay, well, where's the function? We can remove the is authenticated here. All I just need is the admin user, which makes it possible for only an admin or a staff member to have access to this particular endpoint. The next thing is to set my query products.objects.all. We also need to import our model and also import the serializer. So I will do from .models import product and also import cat. Then in our serializers, let's import product serializer and also cat serializer. Good. Now let's continue building from where we stopped. Go down. Now after the query set, the next thing I'm going to do is to set my serializer class. Those are the 3 things we need inside this view. As simple as that. This view is created and ready to work. So with this setup, this means that only staff can access this class. Now the next one I'm going to set is the one for the edit, which is also a class that is only accessible to staff. For this one, we'll call it admin edit product view, or instead of using generics.list create API view, this time around I will use retrieve, so that inside the function we can set our permission classes to be isAdmin, also set the query set to be product.objects.all, and also set the serializer class to be product serializer. Now these 2 endpoints are ready and can do the magic for our product. We can go ahead and set up the endpoints so that when we are done with this one, we'll start dealing with the cat. But what I can do before we continue is to set up another endpoint that is going to make it possible for us to list out our products in our home page. So this particular endpoint can be accessed by everybody. I'm not going to set this one to be for admin. Call it to be class product. Let's call it product view, and generics again. Gonna do the work dot list API view, and inside this one I'm going to do the same thing. Query set products.objects.or, but I'm going to set order by, let's use ID. So use ID to order it. Then I will also set the serializer class product serializer, but this time around I'm going to set permission classes to be allow any. We can save this view, and in our urs.py, let's set up our endpoints that will capture these views we have set up here. One of the first things I'm going to do is to set up our media files, which is important because, you know, we set up a media file in our models.py for products. It will be wise for us to also capture that in our settings.py and also route how all those media files are going to be stored. And to do that, I'm going to set up my media URL in my settings.py. So you can just come down here. I will do the media URL. We'll set the media just like this. Close this. Then I'll also set the media root, use base directory, then /media. Now this is done. If there's any other thing we'll have to do in our settings.py, we'll come back to it. In our URLs, I will first of all import static from django.config.urls.static. We will import static. Correct, this should be from not import. Below here I can first of all add the one for our product view API and /products, and I will set it to be product view dot as view. This can be products just like this. Then set the next one for the admin products API, then /products. In this one I can just leave it as this. Where this one I can just use products so that it will not confuse me when I'm accessing them from the front end. I will just know this one is just to view products, while this one is for admin to access products. Close this, and here we'll do admin product view, then dot as view, then admin products is fine. Set the one for listing or editing products individually, but the name is not this. I think it's admin edit product. Let's remove the detail view. This will capture later. Then admin product view. Okay, yeah, so the endpoints are ready. We'll now start using them in our front end to view products. Save, cross check, and make sure we are not doing anything wrong here. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is to set up the front-end pages that's going to view the admin product view and also the admin edit product view. Then I will control them to be managed from our dashboard here. Okay, so to do that, we can come back to our front-end under our components here. We can do admin product list.jss. This is the one that's going to show us our products, and also, okay, for listing products and adding products. This is the page that's going to control us. Now, the first thing is to import React, but this time we'll use effect. We'll also use date. Okay, then we will import our API. Then we'll also import access token, and we will also import our CSS that we'll set up shortly. Import styles, and let's call it admin product.css. So I'm going to set up this CSS shortly, but before we even continue, we are going to use something that's going to help us to handle our errors in a better way. We are going to terminate this, and we'll do npm install. We'll use React Toast. Is it Toast? I think it's Toastify. So we'll use this React Toastify to beautify our error messages. That's the purpose of importing it, or installing it rather. So let's go ahead and install that. Can go ahead and also run npm audit fix to fix the vulnerabilities we are seeing here. So go ahead and run the development again. Close down this. Okay, so now we can go ahead and import the Toast we just installed. So I will import Toast. I think it's called Toast like this. Then no, Toastify. We'll use the Toast somewhere. The first thing I'm going to do is to create my admin product list. So to do that, I will do admin product list. We'll use arrow function, and inside the arrow function, I will set my const for product, set product to use state, which will help us to initialize the product state. Then we'll also do the one for new product, const new product. Then I'll also set new product. We'll also use state, but inside here, what I'm going to do is to set name, set it to be empty. Then also set description, set it to be empty, comma. We'll also set price, set it to also be empty. Last but not the least, we will set the quantity. We don't need to put comma here. Okay, so we can go ahead and close this. We are making progress. Now the next one is to set the image. So for this image, I will also do const image. Now for this image, I will set image, then use state to be null. I don't need this, set it to be null, close. Now I'm going to set error. For the error, set error, then also use state to be null. Okay, can close this. Now inside this place, we'll go ahead and fetch existing product. We'll fetch existing product, and to fetch existing product, I will use effect. Let's see this function we have here, const fetch products. Then we are using async arrow function. Then try, we set the const response equals to, well, thank you for pulling this up for me in my tab line. So inside my try, I will set my token, and for this token, I'm going to use local story.get item, and inside it, I will put my access token. Once I get that, I will check if the token does not exist. If it doesn't exist, I will throw new error, no access token found. If a token is found, we'll then go ahead and do const rest. For this rest, I will set await to be api.get, and inside it, I will add the API/product. I think that's what we have in our endpoint here, right? This, you can just copy it to avoid mistake. Yeah, I think it's correct. What I wrote is correct, but make sure you close it there and comma. Side here, I will set the headers. Okay, for the headers, authorization bearer token, just as it is like this. Then I'll put comma here and come down below. Then I will set product to be rest.data.results, because this our product is in an array, so accessing them, we have to access it with the results. Access the results array from product. Now for this our catch here, I'm going to first of all do a console.error so that I can check if there's any error, and inside it I will do error getting product, then set error, and thereafter I will set error to be fail to fetch product, or let me be more specific, fail to get product. I'll go ahead and use the toast we imported, toast.error fail to get product. Come down here, then do fetch product, and here I can put comma, nope, and add. Okay, so this is meant to close this one, right? Then do it this way. Now we are making some progress with this. So this particular use effect function is helping us to fetch an existing product, and once that is done, what I'm going to do next is to handle the input changes for new product. So to handle the input changes for new products, what I'm going to do is come down below here, then I will handle changes for as input product. Now form is actually a form. So what I'm going to do here is to set another const handle change, but let's use handle input change instead of just handle change. And inside it, we are using e, then arrow function, set new product, then new product, then e.target, then e.target. This function is good to go for me. Once I'm done with this one, I will handle the image upload. Then for this, we will do set image target file is 0, set the image file. Thereafter, I will handle the form submission to add a new product with image. Now to handle this one, okay, let me just add handle form submission to add a new product with image, just one image, because that's what I'm adding in the product at this moment. To do this one, we'll use const handle submit, okay, but instead of just using event here, I will first of all use async, then event arrow function, and inside my arrow function, inside this arrow function, I will do event or prevent default, but let's see what this is trying to do for me here. Let's remove this and try again. So what I'm going to first do is to get the const token, which is equals to local story.get item, the access token. Close this. So the first thing is, once we get this, I will check if it's not access token. We'll also throw a new error, no access token found. You know, we need this access token to be able to know who is having access to our admin product. What I'm going to do is to get the form data to include the image in the request. Let me just get the form data to include image in the request, and to do that I will do const form data. Let me see. Yeah, so the form data, I will set it to new form data, then form data that append name, the new product dot name, then form data that append description, new product dot description, then form that append price, new product dot price, then form that append quantity, new product dot quantity. Now for the image, I'm going to do something. If image, we need to be able to check if it is image, then we will append the image file, and to do that I will do if image. Let's do this form that append, come down, can close this up. I will do const, let's see what our response is bringing. Yeah, response await, then api.post api products, then form data headers. We set authorization bearer token, but this is not all, because we have more information. So what I will do is, let's arrange this more properly, bring this down so that here I can put comma, and I will add the content. Nope. Yeah, let's add the content type to be multi-path / form data, which is required for file upload, because we have an image. Now with this setup, this our set products can fly, where we are setting products here, then response.data, which enables us to add the new product to the product list. Then we'll set new product name, description, price, quantity. We go ahead and reset the form. This is what we are doing here actually. So let me add a comment, reset form. Then we'll set image to no. Then our toast.success product added successfully. Remember, this toast is helping us to have a proper error message. So for this our catch error here, what I can do inside here, I will do console.error. Set it to be error if you want, but what I'm going to do is I will add more error message that will make it look better. So error adding product, then it will show us the error itself, comma, right? Then let's set error here, failed to add product, and also let's set our toast error, failed to add product. Come below and do if error, right? I want to return the error itself, right? Well, let me use p tag instead of div. Now let's create our HTML. So to do that, I will return this. Well, I'm gonna have to arrange this better than what it is showing me there. So I'm gonna still use div. Inside this div, I'm gonna have a class name. I think I use admin container. Yeah, close this. Inside this div, initialize. Nope. Hedge one. For my hedge man, I will say manage products. I'll start the product with capital P. Now let's use UL to handle our product details. Let's return these products, but I want to use products.length. I want to do products.length, so it's greater than 0. So what I'm doing in essence, if product.length is greater than 0, then let's do products.map, yeah, which would then be product. Then key, we are setting it to be product.id. But I just wanted the information to be as simple as possible. I don't want to have much information. I just want to see the product name and edit, because we are going to access another endpoint from here. What I can do is remove all of this. We'll do product.name, right? I will use dash, and I will add an a tag, and inside is my a tag. I will access the endpoint for API products, the product.id. Okay, then close this. I will add edit here. This is meant to be outside here. Then let's close this. Okay, now this is just how I want to show it. If it is not, then I want you to show me no products available. I will come down here and no. Now let's do it this way. No products found. Move this one. Okay, now the next thing is to show the one for adding new products. So I'm going to show the form for adding new products below. So for this one, let me put a curly bracket and use this to let's do add new products. First of all, set up a h2. Inside my h2, I'll say add new product, right? Use my form. Inside the form, we don't need action, but I will set on submit instead, so that I can use it to handle the handle submit function. Handle submit. Now inside this form, I will add a div, and for the div, I will set up a label. Let's see what we have for the label name. Then for the input, we have test, then ID name. You can even remove ID if you want, just name is fine. Then we have a value new product.name, then on change handle input change, then required. Okay, so we can just duplicate this for our description. then change this one to description, right? And this one should also be description required too. Let me see if I come down, they will show me for price. Okay, it's not showing me for price, so let's duplicate this one, change this one to be description as well. Description, change this one to be price, type should be number here, then the name should be price, new product dot price. Almost done. Duplicate for quantity, change name to be quantity, then new product dot quantity. The last but not the least is for our image. For the image, changes to be image. You know what, I don't even need this HTML for, let it just be label. Move all of them. For the type, we'll set it to file, then the name we'll set it to image, and we don't need to set the value, but we can set accept to be image slash all, then on change handle change required, I don't know, can just remove it. And after this one will come below, add the button submit, add product. Okay, now once I'm done with this, I can come below here and let's close this, right, and export default admin product list, save. Now how are we going to see this in our dashboard? We should be able to see it in our dashboard, so I'm going to make it available on our dashboard. If we go to our app.jss, let's import the admin product list, but before then, you know, we are meant to create the CSS. So if we go to our styles here, I'm going to create admin product.css. Let me paste the CSS I have for that and save. Now in our app.js, we have already imported the admin product list. What I'm going to do now is to make it available here, so we can just import it below. Let's import it here, admin, but here I'm going to change this to be API slash products. I don't need to set the is authorized thing because normally it knows. You will not even be able to see it if you are not authorized. So let's just remove all of that and return this one this way, remove this one too, that it will be simple as this. So let's close this, can save this. If I come to my dashboard, I can come to the admin render features that we have set up here. Inside these admin render features, where I have the admin features, I can now add the admin specific features. Div, inside this div, okay, let me add a class name. For the class name, we'll set it to be admin dash actions. Inside the div, what I will do is to set a button. I will apply on click. So what happens is when you click, use window.location.href. I'll set it to be equals to API slash product, right? Then let this be manage product. So if we go back here now, let's see, we are now seeing this manage product, and if I click on it, it brings me here, but obviously we have an issue. But let me see from here if there's any error. Now let's come back and inspect what is causing this not to show. Cannot read properties. See, product.length. Okay, let me refresh and see. Okay, so let's come back and see. Close this. What do we have in our products here? So we have products, then set product, gradually cross check everything here. Okay, first of all, this is meant to have, scroll down, so add slash here, come down, error on call, cannot read properties of length. Okay, let's close this and come back here. This is because somewhere where we are adding our products, there is the place we are setting products, set products here. I set the result array from product API. At this moment, we have not added any product, so I need to set it to either return the results from the response.data or set it to empty in a situation whereby it does not find anything in the results array. To do that, I will add this and add an empty array, then save. If we go back here now, we'll see no products found, add new products. Okay, so we can go ahead and add an iPhone and say the best iPhone, then we can call the price to be 1500. We are submitting 50 quantities, then let me submit this, then let's add product. Now you see we have been able to add the product here and it is showing. Now if I go ahead, we want to edit this product, but we have not set up the edit. That's why it is returning 404. We will come back to that. Let's refresh this. What happened is meant to return. Okay, if we go to our admin and refresh under our products, we have added this iPhone. Okay, so let's refresh and inspect. There's no error here. Okay, so let's come back here, open up our endpoint and see. Okay, so let's close this. Let me add one more phone. Let's add a Samsung, the best Samsung, say 50. So I can see here, right? But when I refresh, it stops showing me the product detail. We have added products and we can see the products we have added in our admin. Can see, okay, but something is wrong. In our image, the product is not storing the images. So we missed something. But first of all, let's cross check what we are doing here to make sure that we are doing the correct thing. In here, there is another thing I need to do. This static we imported here, it's not time for us to use it. Another thing I also need is from Django.conf. We'll import settings, so that below here I will do if settings.debug, then we'll set the URLs patterns plus static to be settings.media URL, then document root equals to settings.media root. Now let's save this and to close this urls.py. Now inside here, let's kindly cross check the way we are handling the image file. I see the reason. This one is meant to be image, sorry, not input, image change. Cross check. Now let's come back here and see. Well, let's try again. Let's just add anything random. Let's add fort, then just anything random and see. Good. For now, I think we are saving the images, which is what I want to cross check for now. Yeah, the image is saving now, but the issue I'm having is that I'm meant to see the list of our products here, but whenever I refresh, I don't find them anymore. So we have to cross check and see what is wrong with what we are doing here, because normally it's meant to be showing me the list of our products with this information. The products.length is less than 0, then products.map the product, then it will show me the product.id, then product.name. The reason why I'm not seeing it is because I have not set up this. I need to set it up. Okay, so once we set this up now, we'll be able to see our product. So to do that, we will go ahead and create another page. I'm going to call it the admin product edit page. So come here under the same components. We will do admin product edit.jss. I'm going to try to do this as quickly as possible. So I will import React from React. But aside from React, I will also import useState, then also use effect. Okay. The next thing is we will import use parameters. Okay. So to import that, I will do use params from React router DOM. Then I will also import navigate. I will need to import the CSS of this our React Toastify, and to import it, I will do import. I think it's React -Toastify then /dit and /React not.js. We are importing CSS. I'm also going to import the admin CSS we are using. Both of them are going to use the same CSS. The first thing is to create the admin product edit. Okay, for this one we'll also use arrow function, and inside this arrow function I will do const. For this const I will get the ID, because that's what we'll need to access a product. Then we'll set it to use params, right, to use the parameters from our React router DOM. Then I will also send my const navigate to use the navigate function we imported from React router DOM. Once I do this, I will then go ahead and set product and allow it to use state. But what I'm going to do inside this my use state, I'm not just going to leave it empty this way. I will set this then name to be equals to 0, price we can set it as empty, then description empty, category. Now we don't have category here. What we'll have is image, and change this to be quantity. I'll just do const image, then I will set my image to be null for new image. Then I don't need this loading or error. So what I will do is use effect. For this, use effect arrow function, right? And inside my arrow function, let's fetch product. We'll use async, then try const rest equals to await.api.get. This is meant to be API, then slash product, then ID. I will try to console.log so that I will know what's going on for debugging purpose. Let's do first product data rest.data. Set the product to be rest.data. Thereafter I'll catch error, error fetching product, then console.error. Okay, fine, we are making progress. Come down here and fetch product, and I'll put comma here. I will return the ID, right? And that is it. So I'll close this here. The next thing I'm going to do is to now handle the file input for image. Handle file input for image. For this one, I will set the const handle image change, the same way we did for the other one. Set image to be e.target.file. I will also place my console.log here just for debugging purpose, so that if we have any error, it will be easy for me to debug it. If not, I'll just leave it for you guys there so you can use it and study what's going on. Now, once this is done, I will go ahead and handle the product update. Handle product update, which includes image update or upload. So for this one, I'm going to do const handle update, right? So for this one, I'm going to use async. Okay, so let's do this try. Come up a little. For the try, we have form data, but instead of using let me use const form data to be new form data. Then we append the name, product.name, price, product.price, description, product.description, then quantity, product.quantity. And we'll also do the if image, then form.append image. Thereafter, I think I should have a console.log here, which will return the form data. Okay, once we do this, what I will do is use await to edit api.put, and inside here we'll set the endpoint. Now let's use backtick /API, then product ID, put comma, and have form data. Right, inside here we will put comma so that we can set our headers. The content type is multi-type /form data. We're almost done, and we will set our toast.success updated successfully. Then navigate to the product, which is API/products. Thereafter we can, let's close this first, catch error. What I will then do thereafter is to handle delete. And to handle delete, I will do handle delete. Then for this one, I'll also use async. Okay, let's return this and see. Await api.delete, then api/products. But instead of doing product.id, just id, we are setting that params already. Now let's close this here. Okay, so that if it is successful, we will do product deleted successfully. We'll navigate back to this, then also catch error deleting product. Once all this is done, we can go ahead and return our HTML. Done. Let's see what we have here. Well, we are going to maintain the same container we are using for the product list. So I'm going to use admin container here. Can change this to be h1 just to be on a safer side. Let me do it the way I want to. Remove all of this. When we return the edit, I will go ahead and create a div. Inside this div, I will return product.image. So if product.image is true and exists and not null, then I want it to go ahead and another div for me here, so that inside this div I will return the image source. Or instead of setting it this way, I can just set it as product, or even URL.create object URL if you want. I can set the style. Let me set the width, can set it to be 200 ps, comma, then height, and also set it to be, and I will set my form fields for the product data. Create a curly bracket, add some comment, form fields for the product data. Okay, inside this one, input type to be test. Let's change this one to be product name. But aside from this, what else do I need? The value is already product name, but I need on change. I will set it to be e, then set product. Okay, so let's go ahead and close this. Can just duplicate. Okay, now let's do the next one for quantity. Okay, now let's duplicate again. For this one, I can remove the type and change this to be description, product.description, change this to be. Now for the image uploading, what I will do is to add another div here, and inside this div I will set a label. I don't need the HTML for, just plain label, and I will ask change image, and below I will add an input, and for the input we'll change the type to be file and name to be image, and we'll set the accept to be image/all, and lastly but not the least, I will change the onchange to be handle image change. I will add the button on click handle update product. Then the next one, I will also add the one for delete, which is going to utilize the delete. But for this one, I'm going to add a style. Let me add a style here. Okay, you can just add this here so you guys can see it better. So come here, close this, and come here, close. For this one is meant to be comma, then I'm gonna change this to be bracket, not curly brackets. Okay, then set product response, that product, then catch error. Okay, so let's save. Now what I will do is in our app.js, I will need to import the toast container first. So I will import toast container from React Toastify. We have already imported the admin product list. Now let's import the admin. Okay, we have not exported this yet, so we'll come down here and do export default admin product edit, save, come back here, then we can do admin product edit, import it. Below my nav, I can import the toast container to help us to display our notification. Then below here, I can also import the product edit. Can remove this, just leave it as simple as this, API/product. Now if we save and come back here, we failed to resolve import React. Okay, so let's come back and see. This is not meant to be toast, it should be toastify, then /git, and react toastify.css. So if you save now and come back here, fail to get products, inspect and see. I'm not seeing any error here. So what is still wrong? If you come back to the product list, you have to cross-check this code again to make sure everything is fine, because something is definitely wrong. That's why we are not able to see our product list. Let's open up the use effects so we can diagnose further. So what I can do, just to make sure there's nothing wrong with this our access token, I can do console.log access token, just token, so I can see if there is any token is pulling. Then after the cons rest, I can also log another console.log fetch products. Let me see. Yeah, now let's go back and let's refresh. Fetched product is showing. Let me use available because I have used this in different points just to make sure it's the one. Well, the first product is showing me nothing. It's showing undefined. Yeah, so our access token is available. That's not the fetch products undefined. Okay, fetched products. What about response.data? So try it this way. Okay, we are making progress. We can see this, but because hold on, let me see what I have here. I can see the details of the product, probably because I'm using. So that means what I can do is to remove this one. Don't need to use result there anymore. Just remove this and save, and boom. Okay, so we can access this now, but something is wrong for the edit. We'll come back to that, but at least we are making progress. When we refresh this, we could see. If I go to the so manage dashboard, I could see all the products. Okay, but this is not working yet. Let's try to figure out why when we click here and I want to access the edit page that we have already set up, we are getting some error. Use params is not a function, or is return value is not admin, blah blah blah. Okay, so let's go back and try to diagnose what the problem is. So if we go to the admin product edit, this is meant to be edit a curly bracket, not an array. Probably that's why we are having the error. Okay, so as you can see, we are not seeing the details, but some things are not showing. There's no image for this one. Okay, let's access this one and see another error. Let's inspect, because we are meant to access the fail to execute. Okay, if we come back to the edit. The way we are returning the admin container, this my url.create object URL is definitely wrong, and that's one of the reasons why we are not getting the right ID for this. So I'm just going to remove this url.create object I used here, remove this bracket and return it as product.image, then auth product.image.name, sorry, because I did not set up any URL for that in my backend. Probably that's why. Okay, as you can see, the image is showing here, but this one is not showing properly. So let's deal with that. For the description, what is wrong? I'm going to change this to be test area instead of input. Then the value description is fine, then I'll change. Everything should be fine. Then save and let's go back. Okay, so you can see the best. Now, if you come back and click on this one, we can try to add iPhone as the image. Update, error updating. Okay, let's try to inspect and see why we can't update. Internal server error. So if we go back and open our endpoint, you call this URL via put, but the URL doesn't end in a slash. Okay, so let's see where I'm calling it the put. Okay, normally what I'm even meant to do here, let me just use ID, then also end this with a slash. Now if we go back and let's update again, product updated successfully. If you want to edit now, you see we have that. Now let me go back and also add image for the Samsung as well. Okay, update, product updated successfully. Okay, so I have been able to manage product as an admin, but now as you can see, the product is not showing here, so we have to show products here. We have already created the endpoint that is meant to show products here for users to see. What we have been doing is the admin side, where I can manage product, add, edit, do whatever I want to do. So for this Facebook now, I can decide to delete it. Product deleted successfully. As you can see, is no longer here. If you come to our backend, we will not be able to see that. So all the CRUD operations that we are meant to do with our product as an admin, we have been able to implement that in this project. So what I'm going to do right now is to now add products here. And to add products here, I'm going to come back to our code, create another file, call it products, and .jss. For this one, what I'm going to do is import React as usual, but I will also let's import use effect, and we'll also import use state. Right now I will import my API, import API, then we'll also import our toast. I will import toast from React Toastify. Then I will also import the CSS I'm going to create shortly, styles, then slash pro.css. Okay, then let's also import React Toastify, then slash dit, then slash I'm going to use navigate for redirecting, but we will come back to this one when we have started adding our carts. But for now, let me just set up the product. For this one, use normal const and arrow function, and inside this function I will set up the const product, set product, then we'll also const error, set error. Go ahead and use effect. Now I'm not going to do this way. Let me give some space here. For my use effect, what I'm going to do is to do const fetch product. For this one, I'm going to use async, but I don't need to have anything inside the parameter. Now, inside this my function, I will use try. Then I will do const rest await, get the API, then slash product. Okay, I think I only use products for that, so but I can set a limit for it. Can set limit to be 5. I don't know if I've set up the pagination, but this is going to help us to fetch only 5 products with a row. Okay, then set products, then I will do response.data, catch my error, then set error, then failed to load error. I can even do ahead and do console.error, then do this, so that below here I will do fetch product. This my fetch product is wrong, correct that. Let's come down below here. I will do if error, let's return error. For all this long talk here, just return me a p tag with my error, please. Simple as that. Don't need all this long talk. Okay, so I'll come below and return my HTML. For this one, let's see what we have. Okay, I already have a structure that I will have to use for this. Instead of using it this way, let's leave the div, but I'm going to remove this and create a hedge one. And inside my hedge one, I will add George products. Then below I'll add another div. For this div, I will do product.length is greater than 0, right? Go ahead and do this. But inside this div, I'm going to create a class name. For the class name, I will add product grid. Okay, now let's cross check this my product.length, what I've done here. Okay, now maybe what I can do is when I check if the product.length is greater than 0, I will go ahead and do product.map. Then inside it, you know what, let's remove all of this. I will do product.map. Inside it, I will put just product this way. Then I will create an arrow function, right? Create another div. I will add an image. For the image, the source, let's remove this and put product.image close. For this one, I can set it to be product.name. Right now, what I will do is, while setting this up inside this div here, I'm going to add key to be equals to product.id. Then I will add a class name. I think what I use there is product-card, product-card. So let me just make this more beautiful by indicting. Bring this one down, come down again, then do style. For my style, I will set the width to be 100%. Then height, I will set height to be, I use 200 ps. Comma, then object fit, can do cover as well. Now this should be comma. Let's bring this down. Come down below and I will put a h3. For my h3, I will add the product.name, add a p tag. For the p tag, I will add product.description. I will go ahead and also add another p tag. Inside this p tag, add a strong. For my strong, put price. Then I'll come here and put my $sign. Then put product.price. Close this up. Put a button. For this button, add to cart. We'll come back to setting up the cart. Let me put a class name for this one to be add to cart. Okay, so now we are making some progress. Close this up so that if I come below, return this here so that we can use it to check if no product is available. No products available. Okay, so let's remove these two. So for here, I'm meant to put a question mark, right? And put space there. With this setup, I can come below and do export default product. Now, to be able to see these products, I'm going to add it in my page for the home. So let's save this off first, then come to the pages here, open up home.js, then I will import products from our component so that below here, I will add products, then save. Now, if we go back here, fail to resolve import styles. Okay, because we have not set that up. Now, if we come to our styles, we can create products.css. Let me paste this my CSS here. Save. Let's go back. Our product is not showing up yet. So let's go back and see why our product is not showing up. Let's cross check the code to make sure there's no problem at all, as small problems can affect our setup. It's showing unauthorized. Okay, so in our settings, let's see if we have set up pagination. If I open up my settings.py, we do not have pagination set up. That's one of the reasons why we are not able to access the product. So I'm going to set our default pagination class here to be REST_framework, then pagination.page. Now what I'm going to do is use pagination.page number, then pagination. I can set the number to be 5 the way we did there. So if we come back here, let's refresh and see. Still not access the product, but our pagination is now set up, and as you can see from here, is getting the products because we are seeing a status of 200 507, which is a good sign. Under this our set product response.data, I can add a console.log to return the response.data for me, so we can inspect and know what is wrong. Console. Okay, so we are seeing array and we have different arrays. Now let's refresh this so I can see. Okay, this is what we are having main, and inside this array we have result, iPhone description. Okay, we are making some progress. So what I can do, instead of just returning response.data, I can add response.data.results. If it is not product.data.results, then we can do response.data, so that here I can do response.data.results. So we can see now in our console, let me refresh again. I'm now seeing the product itself, because what I'm returning so far is the result array, which is inside the response.data. But we are still not seeing product inside this place. Now we can go back and try to inspect further and diagnose what is wrong. You know what? Let's remove this limit, leave it like this, and come back and see. Let's refresh. Still nothing. Now inside here, let's try to cross check. Okay, I am returning my error as an array, which is wrong. What I am meant to return here is null. This is why I say all the time, simple mistakes like this can cause problem that will take you time to dissolve. Because imagine returning my error inside an array as if I'm returning products. How is it going to work? Because the errors are not inside an array. Now it's causing problem for me. So what I'm meant to do here is to change this to be null. Okay, remove one of these brackets. Then we'll save. Now let's go back and see. Our products are now showing. Good. Now, if we come back to this code and I set the limit again, equals to 5, it's meant to be limit. Now, if we come back, we can still see the product. That was not the problem because I thought the limit could be the cause of not seeing the products here. Okay, so guys, we have made some progress. We are now able to add products. Done. We can also delete product as an admin. Done. You can also edit product as an admin. Done. Now, in the next video, we will start dealing with adding product to cart, removing product from cart, checkout, and likely maybe we will capture the payment gateway. I want each of the parts of the videos not to be too long so that it will be easier for you guys to understand the different things I'm doing. So I might have to also break it down further. Maybe just do the cart separate, then after the cart, we'll then deal with the order, checkout, and payment gateway together in one video. So guys, see you in the next one.